welcome to the Buzzz. Carol Kirkpatrick here with one of my very favorite students who is also a rising star in the opera world, Miss Susannah Biller, who is a lyric coloratura soprano. She just did her first Daughter of the Regiment, Marie, with the Arizona Opera, and to tremendous success. And she has come here because she's in between here and going
to St. Louis.
St. Louis to do
Riccardo Primo, Richard the Lionheart
by
Handel.
So we've been working on that and just talking a little bit about what she's learning as far as having a career is concerned that most people don't talk about because there's so much involved, and I think that it would be really good to hear it from the horse's mouth, so to speak. So we were talking yesterday, and I said we got to put this on a Buzzz.
Oh no, you're right.
So where to start with that?
Well, I think the place to start with is a vocal technique, and
Yay.
working
2 thumbs up.
working to that degree every day, and realizing that just because you've maybe mastered one small part of the technique doesn't mean that it ever stops. It's an ongoing process. It never ends until you are in the grave.
Yeah, you mentioned that the learning curve it does. The learning curve never ends.
No, it never ends.
And one of the things that I want to make very clear to everybody is, and you're learning this, and Lexi Alexandra Lobianco, who you met, I don't know, a while ago when we did this together, mentioned the same thing, that once you become a young professional person, you spend the first 3 to 5 years singing a job, doing a job, you have a contract, you're doing an opera, and while you're doing that opera, you're learning in your in-between times, working with a coach, learning the one you're going to next. So
Yes.
you want to talk a little bit about that?
Well, I will say that as a young singer, pretty much everything is either a role debut or something brand new, something that you never would have expected that you would have the chance to sing. I will say this, there's never enough time to learn something, and even when you think you've learned something, you are in the midst of rehearsals and you realize that, oh my gosh, I didn't realize that this was here, or I had to do that, or there's always something that you realize mid-rehearsal, mid-process.
Mm-hmm.
But also, if you have the time to learn repertoire in between jobs, I say take as much time as you can and learn operas, because if you're ready and someone calls you and says, hey, do you happen to know, for example, Musetta? Oh my gosh, yes, of course, I've sung that, I've been working on it. You might get the job. Or Semele,
Yeah.
or things of that general nature.
Yeah.
It's wise. It's not a bad thing to have as much in your back pocket as possible. And I think this was something that was very huge that I learned from Galetha Nichols, who is with the Metropolitan Opera.
Mm-hmm.
She said, when I was a young artist, to have what is called a board of directors.
Mm-hmm.
People that are part of your life, part of your career, that help you to make big decisions while you're learning a piece, give you advice, you name it. They are your trusted advisors.
Okay, I have a question for you. When you say, when you're learning a piece, how do they come into that? How do they come into that?
Well, you, for example, like Carol, our wonderful teacher here, she helps me figure out how to apply my technique. She's my ears. So for example, if I feel, this isn't quite right, I'm not sure what I'm doing exactly, I might sing it for Carol and she'll say, this is what's going on. I work with different coaches, very specific ones that are people that I trust. I will bring new things to them and say, hey, this is what I'm considering learning, or I've been offered this job. Do you think that this is a wise idea? Also, your agent, that's a huge one. Your agent, it's like a marriage. Sometimes you spend more time with them than actually your own spouse.
True.
But it's important to have an agent that has your back, that believes in your talent, that will push you along. And I'm very thankful to say that Anna de Archuleta is my agent, and she's amazing at that.
She is. She's doing a great job.
And also it's important to have people, whether it be family, whether it be friends, that are your sounding board as well, that give you support, especially when you're on the road. That's another board of directors. That's a whole nother person. It's a whole nother part, because when you're on the road and you're alone, you know, the doubts creep in, things happen.
Okay, let's talk about that. You're alone. Let's talk about that. Even though you have colleagues and whatnot, you're alone.
It's very difficult. I mean, people think of being an opera singer as something extremely glamorous.
Yes, they do.
It's not glamorous.
It's a
job.
Thank you.
Not only is it a job, but it's an aspiration as well, because you are working every single day to become better, to become the artist that you want to be.
Yeah.
But being alone, I mean, you
really need someone to reach out to.
Absolutely.
Somebody you can talk to every day and whine and complain and get it all off your chest.
People that are part of your life, that are important, that you trust, because you don't want to just tell it to anybody. So it's important to have that in your life, and to have a board of directors, people that you trust.
Yeah.
That's key.
I want you to also address quickly, and then we can wrap it up. You talked about working with the conductor and the stage director, and how each time it's different because they're different people that you haven't worked with yet, and colleagues, in fact.
Absolutely. Well, you can take a lot from your colleagues. I know I did a job in Portland. I did my first Fledermaus. I was Adele, and they, instead of doing the audition aria, I did Frühlingsstimme Walzer, and I knew if I was going to have to do anything too physical, that it was going to be very difficult. So I, ahead of time, asked the wonderful director, Chaz. Hi, Chaz. I asked him if he would be kind and help me out in that regard, and he was wonderful. Also, you can take a lot from your colleagues. Your colleagues give you so much to work off of, and also it can change your own idea about your characterization. Sure. And then also when it comes to conductors, your ideas and their ideas can be very different. I mean, it's a collaboration. It is absolutely a collaboration. Don't ever forget that. Also with the stage director, because you're the one that's going to be standing on the stage ultimately, telling the story, and you're the one that's going to be responsible for telling the story. Absolutely. So, and also in this last job in Marie, in Daughter of the Regiment, it was extremely physical, and I had to learn where to take time for myself, and giving myself the permission to do that. And John de Los Santos, who was the fantastic director that we had, he even said to me, he said, you know, you need to take time here. Don't be ashamed. You've earned it. You've earned the right to do this. Yeah. And I think that's also great when you have people that you are able to collaborate with, and also these ideas that they will feed you will maybe give you ideas for something different, or you might, you know, have this light bulb moment. Oh, I remember he told me this, or she told me this in this moment. Oh, maybe I'll do that here. Oh, it's great. Yeah. And I definitely have been very, very, very lucky that I have worked with some fantastic collaborators, and I think it's important to ask questions too. Absolutely. There's nothing wrong with that. No, you don't learn if you don't have questions. Absolutely. For sure. And I know I also did Elixir of Love with Opera Theater of St. Louis with the fantastic Stephen Lord. And Stephen, I mean, talk about a fantastic lesson in bel canto singing and style. He even said to me, he said, you're like a painter. You paint. You're painting with your voice. Give yourself the opportunity to make the phrase. The phrase is only done when you decide to take the breath, and even then sometimes it isn't done. It's incredible when you ask these questions what you will learn, and the amount of knowledge that you will gain, and how it will change you as a person, as an artist. The growing that you do is phenomenal, and that's what I loved about it, is that there's always something to learn. Oh, I always. Like that. And the things that you've learned in Marie, I'm sure that there's a lot of things that you will
carry with you into the next opera.
Absolutely.
And that's what you need to be doing, is taking what you learn each time and figuring out how to, incorporate
Adjust.
it and make the adjustments to put it into the new
Absolutely.
piece.
Because you, even though you might have had this idea, oh, I'm going to sing all these high notes here. If you're running all over Kingdom Come, honey, those high
No.
notes ain't going to happen. So
No.
there comes a point where you have to figure out what's important as a singing, dancing actor. At times, you have to decide what's important and how you are going to accomplish that and tell your character's story. Because that's
Yeah.
the most important thing.
That is, it's your job.
Yeah.
It's a job. You hear me?
It is
It's
a
a
job.
job.
It is a job.
So thank you, my dear, for taking the
Absolutely.
time.
I'm happy to
I
do it.
know she's on her way very shortly out of here, unfortunately. I love having her around. So anyway, that's it for this time. And ciao, and I'll see you soon.
Bye.
Thank you.